A zombie virus breaks out from a laboratory in Britain, causing thousands of deaths as it spreads throughout the population. Don and his wife Alice, who has heterochromatic eyes, manage to take refuge in a remote countryside cottage with a small group of other survivors. Their fragile peace is shattered when a young boy pounds on their door, seeking refuge. Despite the risk, Alice insists on letting the boy in, a decision that soon proves disastrous. The infected quickly swarm the house in a frenzy of rage and violence. In a heart-pounding sequence, Don makes a critical and controversial decision. He abandons Alice, who is unable to escape the infected, and flees to save his own life. This opening sets the stage for the film's exploration of survival, betrayal, and the relentless spread of the virus. Don escapes, but the fate of Alice remains uncertain, leaving a haunting question about the consequences of his choice. The scene shifts to London, now a quarantine zone, as NATO and the U.S. Army declare the virus eradicated and begin the slow process of rebuilding the country. Don, now a custodian in the safe zone, is reunited with his children Tammy and Andy, who were abroad during the outbreak. The quarantine zone is a strict military-controlled area where the remnants of the population begin the painstaking task of rebuilding their lives. Don lies to his children about Alice's fate, claiming she died quickly and painlessly, a lie that provides cold comfort. Curiosity and unresolved grief drive Tammy and Andy to sneak out of the safe zone and return to their former home. There, they make a shocking discovery. Alice is alive, somehow having survived the infection without becoming one of the enraged. Tammy and Andy bring Alice back to the quarantine zone, where her presence and condition spark intense interest from the medical community. She is a carrier of the virus, immune to its effects but still capable of spreading it. Her survival presents a potential breakthrough, but also a significant risk. The children's reunion with their mother brings temporary relief, but the security breach they committed by leaving the safe zone leads to severe consequences. The military begins to tighten security, and the sense of safety within the zone starts to crack. As the narrative unfolds, the precariousness of the supposed safe haven becomes evident. Alice's presence and the secret of her immunity threaten to unravel the fragile stability that has been established. As the military grapples with the implications of Alice's immunity, the fragile peace of the quarantine zone is shattered by another twist of fate. Don, overwhelmed by guilt and longing for reconciliation, gains unauthorized access to Alice, who is being held in isolation. In a moment of profound weakness and emotional turmoil, he kisses her, unwittingly becoming infected with the rage virus. The infection takes hold rapidly, transforming Don into one of the enraged. In a harrowing sequence, he attacks Alice, killing her in a fit of uncontrollable rage. This tragic event marks the beginning of a new outbreak within the supposed sanctuary of the quarantine zone. The virus spreads quickly, reigniting the chaos and horror of the initial outbreak. The military responds with extreme measures, but their efforts are hampered by the speed and ferocity of the infection. The safe zone descends into a nightmarish battleground as the infected overrun the area, leading to a brutal and disorganized military response aimed at containing the outbreak at any cost. Amidst the chaos, Tammy and Andy find themselves alone and vulnerable, forced to navigate the terrifying landscape of a city overrun by the infected. Their goal is to reach a designated evacuation point, but the journey is fraught with peril. The siblings encounter not only the infected, but also face the dangers posed by military forces executing a full containment protocol, which includes the elimination of the infected and potentially uninfected civilians to prevent further spread of the virus. The children's plight is a gripping testament to their resilience and the strength of their bond. As they maneuver through the devastated streets, they are aided by Doyle, a sympathetic U.S. Army sniper who has come to question the morality of his orders. Doyle's expertise provides crucial help, but his decision to aid the children puts him at odds with his superiors and fellow soldiers. Their escape is marked by close calls and heart-stopping moments, including a harrowing sequence where they must navigate through a pitch-dark subway tunnel, a scene filled with palpable tension and fear of the unseen horrors lurking in the dark. As they approach the extraction point, The stakes are higher than ever, with the military taking drastic action to contain the outbreak, including planning to firebomb the entire area to eradicate the infection. As Tammy, Andy, and Doyle make their final push towards the extraction point, the military's desperation to contain the outbreak reaches a fever pitch. They initiate a Code Red, which involves firebombing the entire area to eradicate the infection. The skies darken with helicopters as the city beneath them ignites in flames, creating a hellish landscape. The trio's escape becomes even more desperate amid the chaos of fire and destruction. Doyle, ever protective, leads Tammy and Andy through the burning streets, dodging both the infected and the relentless military assault. Their path is fraught with peril, as they must avoid not only the flames, but also the snipers and ground troops ordered to shoot on sight. In a gripping sequence, the group encounters a medical evacuation helicopter. However, the rescue is far from straightforward. As they approach, they face one final hurdle. The area is teeming with the infected. Doyle makes a selfless decision to distract the infected, allowing Tammy and Andy a chance to reach the helicopter. His heroic act is a poignant moment, showcasing the human capacity for sacrifice. Doyle's diversion is successful, but at a great personal cost. He is overtaken by the infected, his fate sealed away from the eyes of the children he saved. Meanwhile, Tammy and Andy, though grief-stricken, manage to board the helicopter, which whisks them away from the carnage below. As the helicopter ascends, the pilot is unaware that Andy carries a secret, a bite from one of the infected. This revelation is subtly disclosed to the audience, casting a shadow over the apparent safety of their escape. Andy's infection introduces a chilling possibility. The virus could potentially spread beyond the shores of Britain, hinting at a global threat.